My name is Rochelle, and today I would like to talk about how visual communicators must take responsibility for how images and layouts shape truth. One edited picture or video can go viral in seconds, and in those seconds, millions of people may believe something that isn't true. In the digital age, visuals are no longer just harmless decoration. They are powerful, and that's why visual communicators, like designers, illustrators, and content creators, must take responsibility for how their work shapes truth. Let me start with a simple idea. People tend to believe what they see, but the problem is, what they see online isn't always true. A researcher named Hani Farid in 2023 book, Fake Photos and Deepfakes, the New Visual Literacy Challenge, explains that fake images are becoming incredibly realistic and extremely easy to make. He says that people now struggle to tell real images from fabricated ones. This means visuals have more power than ever to mislead. If people trust visuals more than text, and fake visuals are now everywhere, then designers are no longer just artists, they're gatekeepers of what feels true. We scroll past pictures so quickly that most of us don't stop to question them. If an infographic looks clean and professional, we assume the data is accurate. If the photo looks realistic, we assume it happened. This is exactly why designers have responsibility. When your work becomes the proof people rely on, you're shaping their understanding of the world. Here's something that many people don't realize. Even when the information is correct, how designers present it can still change how people understand it. UNESCO's 2025 report on visual misinformation points out that small design choices like how big a graph looks, what numbers you make bold, and how you crop a picture can totally change how people understand it. For example, if you stretch out the scale on a chart, a tiny change can suddenly look huge. If you crop a picture to only show a packed area, it can make an event look bigger than it really is. If you make a headline bigger and bolder, it can make something more urgent or scary, even if it isn't. These aren't random. Designers choose these things. And those choices affect what people believe. So saying, I'm just doing what the client asked, isn't enough anymore, because your decision still shapes the message. The Design Council UK released an ethical framework in 2024 that encourages designers to think not just about creativity, but about the social impact of their work. They argue that designers play a major role shaping public perception, especially now that misinformation spreads so quickly. When major institutions say designers must think about ethics, this tells us something important. The field is changing. Professional responsibility is now becoming part of our job. Now, let me address a common argument against this. Some critics say verifying truth isn't part of designers' job. Designers should just create what the client wants. At first, this sounds practical, but let's be honest, designers don't just push buttons. We decide what to emphasize, we decide what to hide, and we decide what mood the audience should feel. A designer may not write the information, but they absolutely shape how people understand it. If your layout makes misleading data looks believable, the impact is still on you. If your image crops out important context, the audience still gets the wrong idea because of your choices. And if your design spreads misinformation, even accidentally, your work is still contributing to the problem. And in a world of just full of deepfakes, AI-generated propaganda, and edited visuals, choosing to just follow orders is basically just choosing to ignore your influence. So here's the truth. Visual communicators hold enormous power in today's digital world. We create the images, infographics, layouts, and visuals that millions of people see every day. And those visuals shape what people believe, often without them even realizing it. That means we don't just design, we guide perception, we influence public understanding, we help decide what looks real, and with that influence comes responsibility. As Farid warns about deepfakes, as UNESCO warns about visual misinformation, and as the Design Council stresses through its ethical guidelines, the world needs designers who care about honesty. That is it for me for now. Thank you for listening.